Congratulations! You finished this course, and this definitely wasn't a short course. It was a course packed with content, and therefore, of course, at this point, you know a lot about Angular. You know a lot about its essential features, the core features that define Angular and that you will need in almost every Angular project. You know about the modern Angular with standalone components and signals, but you also know about the older syntax where you don't use signals or where you use modules because you might work in projects that use such features as well. And therefore, since you also learned about many more advanced concepts like change detection, RxJS, routing, forms, sending HTTP requests, and so on, for all these reasons, you're now well prepared to dive deeper into Angular and, of course, to start working on Angular projects. Now, of course, learning never stops. There's always more to learn. More features, more patterns, more best practices, and it will also always depend on the kind of project you're working on, which kind of knowledge you might need to gain in addition to what you learned in this course. But this course definitely gave you a more than solid foundation, and therefore I'd of course love to also welcome you in one of my other courses. I do have plenty of courses on a broad variety of topics, but most of all, I wish you all the best for your future as an Angular developer. Now, you might wonder, why are there still lectures and sections after this lecture here? And the reason is very simple. I updated this course. I completely re-recorded this course to cover modern Angular right from the start. But originally, I recorded this course a couple of years ago, and therefore, of course, using an older Angular version and not using all these modern features like standalone components or signals. And I decided to keep this old course online, at least for now, because Angular is a quite fragmented landscape, or the Angular developer community is quite fragmented, you could say, at least to some extent. If you take a look at NPM, you can see that there is a broad variety of Angular versions being used, and therefore there still are many Angular developers that need to work with older Angular versions and that can't use those new and modern features. And therefore I kept this old course online, and that is what you will find after this lecture here, so that you can learn Angular for these older versions, so that you can learn it without being distracted by all the modern features you might not be able to use. Therefore, of course, this remaining course is definitely something you can ignore. You can totally ignore these lectures and sections. You can mark them as completed manually if you want to have 100% course completion and you still don't want to watch it, that's fine. You can watch it at double speed to quickly go through it. And eventually, I will very likely remove that old course. But as long as we have this fragmentation and as long as there's still a significant amount of developers who need to work with those older versions, I'll keep that course online. And that's why there still are lectures and sections after this lecture.